Now, differentiate from first principles. Keyword when you see differentiation from first principles is you can't just do it straight away. People who write down the answers 3 minus 2x, you get 0 marks for this. So you have to go through your full procedure. The first procedure is to write that f of x is equal to 3x minus x squared. The next step is to write out what f of x plus h is. And then that's step 1. This is step 2. Step 2 requires you to replace all x's with x plus h's. Okay? And then you square them out. Now, please be reminded that because there's a bracket and a minus here, there's a minus 1 in here. And that's where most people are going to cough up the mistake, okay? So x plus h, and you got to remember, I just made a quick mistake there myself. It's that the x plus h, the squared is outside the bracket. Go to the side of the page and write out x plus h squared. It's x plus h by x plus h, and this will get you x and x plus h, x plus h plus h into x plus h, and what you get here is x squared plus hx plus hx plus h squared. And then you get x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. What I did there was only for this part here. Okay, so it's actually quite a long one. So 3x plus 3h minus x squared plus 2hx plus h squared. Okay, now tidy this up. You need to multiply by minus, and now you're going to get 3x plus 3h minus x squared minus 2hx minus h squared. We aren't even on step 3 yet. Okay? Step 3 is this here. Step 3 is f of x plus h minus f of x. So, what we do here is, the green answer was the end of step 2. Okay? And now what you have to do after this is you got to take away step 1. So what's step 1, lads? 3x minus x squared. Where's the mistake going to be made? In the minus part, okay? So minus brackets. Make sure you sort of put brackets around the f of x, okay? Minus 3x minus x squared. Now if you're in a test and you don't want to keep writing out line after line after line, what I suggest you do is this. Minus 1 multiplies in. You know it's going to be minus 3x. You know it's going to be minus 3x. And minus 1 times x squared is plus x squared. Now all of a sudden they're going to start striking off. If everything in the next line does not have a h in it, you've gone wrong. Okay? So what happens here is 3x minus 3x cancels with plus 3x. X squared plus x squared cancels with minus x squared. And what we're going to be left here is with 3h minus 2hx minus h squared. To get full marks, what you got to do next is step 4. Step 4, you divide it by h. Cancel all h's over the other side. 1, 1, 1, and one of them goes. Okay, and what you have now is 3 minus 2x minus h. And now step 5 is finally the limit as h approaches 0. You got to write it out again to really make sure the marker has no reason to take anything away from you. And then that turns this h here into 0. The answer is 3 minus 2x. So then you can say f dash x is 3 minus 2x. Make sure, Josh, please make sure you have that part done, the 5 steps. Yeah. Okay. U and V. The y dx. Okay. This is called differentiation, and what we're going to be doing here is the quotient drill. Sorry. Connor, get out. First one, alright, you want to figure out what the u dx is, okay? U is x squared, which makes the u dx 2x. You bring the 2 to the front, in front of the x. Phi is x minus 1, which means that the v dx is what number comes in front of the x is number 1. Minus 1 can't, when you differentiate minus 1, it becomes a 0. Okay, now you got to fill out your product rule. Your product rule is phi du dx minus u dv dx all over phi squared. Okay, what you get here is the following. You're going to get x minus 1 times the u dx, which is 2x, minus u times the v dx. U is x squared, and the v dx is 1. All divided by phi squared, which is x minus 1 squared. Okay, now when this happens, you got to multiply it out. X times 2x is 2x squared. 1 times 2x is minus 2x. 1 times x squared is going to get you minus x squared. And this is going to be all over x minus 1 squared. Now, yeah, we haven't seen that part yet. Now, x squared minus x squared minus x, 2x squared minus x squared is x squared. X squared minus 2x all over x minus 1 squared. Right, you go back to the top of the question and ask you specifically when x equals 3. Replace all x's by the number 3. Okay, anybody with a calculator handy would be really helpful if you could just put that into your calculator and tell me what you get. 9 minus 6 is 3 over 4. Well done. Some students are commenting on the fact that dy dx wasn't all the way down. It was pressed at the start, but it's a very good habit to get in, constantly writing dy dx for the left hand side. Good pickup, Noel. This question here says, a car begins to slow down at P. So it's already moving. The car is already moving, and it starts to hit the brakes at P, okay? In order to stop our red traffic light. The distance of the car from P after t seconds is given by the formula S equals 12t minus 3 over 2t squared, where S is in meters. Find the speed of the car as it passes P. Okay? Now, it says that the distance of the car from P. So when it's at P, its time must be 0. So at P, t equals 0. Because the clock only starts at P. Speed. Speed is the S gives you distance. What's the formula for speed? dSdt. Perfect. So dSdt means differentiate. And what we're going to get is differentiate 12t to get 12. Differentiate 3 over 2. The 2 goes to the front, doesn't it? 2 times 3 over 2 is? It's 3. 3t. Now, shh. You know that t equals 0. So this basically means that dSdt equals 12. Let's figure out what our speed should be measured in. It says distance of the car from P after t seconds. It's in meters and seconds. So it's going to be meters per second. The next question is, find the time taken for the car to stop. The time taken for the car to stop is going to be dSdt equals 0, because your velocity is 0 when you stop. Therefore, dSdt must be 0, which means 12 minus 3t must be 0. What time will give you 0 there? 4. 3t will equal 12. Move the 3t over. T equals 12 over 3, which is 4. 4 what? 4 seconds. Okay? Next step. Part 3. Shh. Now, next one. Next one is the car stops exactly at Q. Find the distance from P to Q. Can anybody in the class tell me, how long does it take to travel to Q? It's going to be 4 seconds because its velocity is 0 when it reaches Q. So if we replace T with 4, if we replace this equation with T equals 4, what we should be able to find out is we should be able to find out how far he went with this, okay? So just going to drag this down here and use it. Okay, this is part 3. This is part 3, and S equals 4. So it's going to be 12 times 4 minus 3 over 2 times 4 squared. Can anybody tell me what that is? $24 meters? Okay. Now, that's good, lads. Next step, okay? The only one I haven't done, which is today, is the chain rule. Right? Chain rule is very easy. Now, lads, the language of this is different this time, alright? It says dy dx equals 0. That means you don't replace x with 0. Do you got that? You put it equal to 0 when x is 1. So even if you don't know what to do, you're in a differentiation question, the first thing you always got to do is differentiate. And that will get you the majority of the marks, okay? Bring the 3 to the front. Yeah? Chain rule right here. Bring the 3 to the front. Leave the bracket unaffected. Do not affect the bracket when it's a chain rule. To identify it's a chain rule, you'll notice that there will be a small indice power, i.e. the 3. There will be a small number like that there, okay? So what we can do there is we can say 3 into x squared minus 2x minus 3 to the power of 2. We're missing a part. We forgot to differentiate what's inside the bracket, which ends to be 2x minus 2. Now, you're told this all equals 0 when x equals 1. Replace all x's with 1's. So you're going to get 3 times 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3 into 2 times 1 minus 2 equals 0. The first one is still 3. The second one is minus 4. And the third one is 0. How do I know that's 0? Because you have 3 multiplied by 4 minus 4 multiplied by 0. Anything multiplied by 0 must be 0. That proves your answer. Okay. And there is, the squared is still here, which means that it was actually minus 4 squared. However, 3 multiplied by minus 4 squared multiplied by 0 is still 0. But that's a good spot. Do make sure that you do not leave out your power, because it could come in very useful. Thanks. Okay. Next one. Shh. Okay. Okay. What you're first going to notice is you're going to underline keywords as you go along, okay? Airport runway, fair enough. The instant it passes a marker, okay? So the airplane passes the marker, okay? And what happens is the time starts now. T equals 0 is when it passes the marker. Then it travels further on, okay? So basically this equation here, this green box here, this tells us if we insert any time we put in there, tells us how fast the plane has how far the plane has gone. If we put t equals 1, that's 2 times 1 squared plus 3 times 1. It tells us it travels 5 meters in the first second. Okay? So that's what that tells us. Now, if I was to put in t equals 1 into this equation, yeah? No. It tells me how far the actual airplane has travelled away from the marker. So the answer at t equals 1 would be 5 meters, yeah? Now that's not what we're asked. What we're actually asked is basically find the speed of the jet. You identify your equation. This equation is a distance equation. To turn a distance equation into a speed equation, we differentiate. So when you differentiate, you get ds dt equals 4t plus 3. We're told that t equals 0 because it hasn't gone by the marker yet, but it's already moving as it passes the marker. This means 4 times 0 plus 3 is going to be 3 meters per second. That's the first part. Now, the plane moves further down the runway and eventually reaches a speed of 83. Okay? And when the plane moves further down the runway, we now know its speed is 83. Okay? So, in order to do this, what we say is 4t plus 3, that's the speed equation, equals 83. 4t must equal 80, which means after 20 seconds, the plane has gone 20 seconds down the runway, and eventually it's gone 83 meters per second. Okay? Finally, how far is the jet from the marker at this time? How far is a distance question. And as we said about the distance, it's 2t squared plus 3t. We now know that the time it takes to reach 83 meters per second is 20 seconds. So all we have to do is replace in 20. 2 times 20 squared plus 3 times 20, and that is 860 meters. Okay? Just in my head. 860 meters, okay? Next one. Find the acceleration of the jet. To find acceleration, if you're given a distance formula, so let's say s equals distance, the second differentiation is going to be velocity. And if you differentiate one more time, what you're going to get is acceleration. So let's differentiate it a second time to find out what the acceleration is. Differentiate 4t plus 3. So if we differentiate 4t plus 3, so the STT is 4t plus 3. We differentiate it one other time. And when we differentiate it the second time, what we get is the acceleration. And the acceleration equals 4 meters per second squared. And that's to write down when something's differentiated twice. What you write down is d2s dt squared. That means it's differentiated twice, and the answer is 4 meters per second squared. Okay, and that is you guys done.